The capital raise has arrived, EPA rules will be reviewed, more max performance controversy, and 100Ds are being delivered. Here are your Tesla tidbits for March 16th, 2017. Electrek has all the credit for today's stories. Thanks for your great reporting, folks. Elon mentioned it would eventually be happening in 2 different earnings calls, and today is the day that Tesla finally announced what can lovingly be referred to as the Model 3 capital raise. It was structured in a way so as to incur as little immediate dilution as possible, yet give Tesla options when the time comes. $250 million in common stock will be issued, as well as $750 million in convertible senior notes, which will come due in 2022. For those unfamiliar, on a very simplified level, a senior note is an investment instrument which may either simply earn an investor interest payments and a cash payout at the end, or be converted to equity in the company. The senior bit of that means that it is due to be repaid before any other debts. In this instance, Tesla would have the option to further dilute the common stock pool or pay out cash when 2022 arrives. Elon himself will purchase 25 million shares of the common stock, showing his further willingness to put his own skin in the game. The underwriters will also have the option to add 15% more shares sold to the offering at their discretion. The full profit before fees from the underwriters will be a cool $1.15 billion if the underwriters exercise their full option of the 15% extra. If you'll recall from the conference call a few weeks back, Elon said he didn't believe a capital raise was necessary to launch Model 3, but it would mitigate risk, and so we see the company covering itself just in case. With this complete, it looks like we're literally ready to get Model 3 on the road, and our next major announcement, barring any surprises, should be the final reveal of Model 3, followed by the opening of the design studio. Thanks to all who are investing in the company's future, and thanks to all the hardworking employees at Tesla, we can't wait to see Model 3 on the road. Literally days after Donald Trump was elected the 45th President of the United States, automakers set to work lobbying to weaken the corporate average fuel economy, or more commonly known as CAFE, rules requiring them to reach a fleet fuel efficiency of 54.5 miles per gallon by 2025. Today it was announced that the rules would be reviewed and a decision to modify them will then be made before April of 2018. While a relaxation of the rules is no sure thing, the language of today's announcement makes it seem plausible if not likely. President Trump said today that he is open to weakening the standards if it shows that the industry could make more, quote, great cars, end quote, and, quote, save jobs, end quote. Incoming EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt tacked on that, quote, these standards are costly for automakers and the American people, end quote. While this is not directly Tesla news, it will undoubtedly affect the company one way or another. It could mean that traditional automakers pull back on EVs while Tesla flourishes, or it could mean that further non-EV friendly regulation is on the horizon to Tesla's detriment. No matter the final result, keep it locked here and I'll bring the news to your ears. Some time back, it was discovered that Tesla was invisibly reducing power to some owners' cars that had been, well, enjoying their cars a little more than normal. To ensure that parts did not wear prematurely, Tesla reduced the maximum power of cars whose owners had been heavy on the accelerator a bit too much. Later, this was rolled back in an update, or at least we thought it was. Turns out the wording of the update was to the letter literal, and folks still aren't mostly getting the power they expect from their cars. John McNeil, president of Global Sales and Service, said at the time, quote, the software update that removes software performance reductions tied to frequent max battery power usage is being deployed now. With this update, maximum power output will be achievable anytime both launch mode and max battery power mode are engaged, end quote. The devil was in the details, though. Maximum power is only available via launch mode, which requires max battery power mode. When questioned, a Tesla spokesperson said, quote, the solution introduced in the latest firmware update, which enables maximum power output anytime both launch mode and max battery power mode are engaged, is the best way to provide our customers with peak performance on demand, while at the same time protecting the powertrain from wear. We are also continuing to proactively monitor the condition of the powertrain to let our customers know if service becomes necessary, end quote. I can understand Tesla's side of this and why they'd want to limit the power, but it seems rather disingenuous to advertise a car that has ludicrous speed and then take that performance away from the owner after utilizing it. After some delays, 100Ds have finally made it into customer hands. Last Friday, the day that this story broke, ended up being the same day that the EPA granted Tesla its EPA ratings on the Model S and Model X 100D vehicles. Model S officially clocks in at an EPA range of 335 miles per charge, and Model X boasts 295 miles per charge. This should help boost deliveries for the quarter, which Tesla would be targeting at least 25,000 deliveries for, given their latest delivery guidance to investors. Glad to hear you folks are finally getting your cars. Congratulations. Lastly today, just a reminder that the first phase of the most recent referral program has come to a close as of 3/15. Since they went with this two-phase approach, it will be interesting to see if another initial tier is initiated today, beginning the 8th referral program. I won't really be surprised either way, to be frank. Nobody has yet claimed to have hit 20 referrals and earned the vehicle reward, but I'll keep you up to date as soon as that happens. Hope you owners out there did well and picked up some nifty gifts, and if you happen to be able to spare one of those day pass test drives, feel free to float it this direction. The links for today's stories can be found in the show description. If you get some value out of what I do each day, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. As always, thanks to super patrons John Waltauer, Drew Schuyler, Cookie UK, and John Waller for supporting the show at the $10 plus level. If you're pinching pennies, that's totally fine. Please feel free to support the show with your positive iTunes reviews. Thanks so much to those of you that have recently added reviews. If you haven't yet and have some time, please consider it. It really helps spread word of the show. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits. That's it for today. I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.